Welcome to Higher Math Solutions. In this video tutorial, we are going to go over how to add and subtract fractions. Our first example is 3/4 minus 1/8. To be able to add or subtract fractions, you need first to have a common denominator. In this case, we have a 4 and an 8, but they are not the same. To help us determine what our common denominator is I'm going to make a list. I'm going to start with the first denominator of 4, and I'm going to write out a list of all the multiples of 4. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so forth. Then I'm going to write all the multiples of 8. I have 8, 16, 24, and then you can keep going. Now I'm going to compare the two lists, and I'm going to pick the smallest number that they both have in common. In this case, I see they both have an 8. So 8 is the least common denominator for this problem. So what I want to do is I want to end up changing my denominators to an 8. So to make 4 into an 8, I need to multiply it by 2. Now I'm going to rewrite my fraction, but I'm going to multiply the top by 2, and I'm going to multiply the denominator by 2. And that will give me 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 4 is now 8. My second fraction already has an 8, therefore I do not need to do anything to that fraction. And so I'm left with just the 1/8. Now when I look at my two fractions, I can see now that they have the same denominator. And now you're ready to add or subtract them. In this problem, it is a subtraction, so I'm replacing 3/4 with my 6/8 minus, and then again, I did not change the 1/8 since it had the 8 denominator already, and I'm going to subtract. When you're subtracting fractions, you keep the denominator the same. So the 8 does not change, and so I just rewrote it. And I just subtract the numerators. 6 minus 1 is 5. So my final answer is 5/8. Our next example will be adding two fractions. Let's do 2/9 plus 5/7. To add two fractions together, the same rules apply when subtracting. You want to have the same common denominator. I'm going to list all the multiples of 9. So 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, and then so forth. Now I'm going to list the multiples of 9. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and so forth. And you keep going until you see a common number. In this case, I see both of these have a 63, and it is the lowest number that they have in common. So 63 is the lowest common denominator. I need to change both of these denominators to 63. So in the first one, 9 times what is 63? That number would be 7. So I need to multiply the first fraction by 7 to the numerator and multiply 7 to the denominator. And in this case, I get 14 on top and 63 on the denominator. I also need to figure out what the second fraction is. For 5/7, to change 7 into 63, I need to multiply it by 9. So I'll multiply by 9 on the top and multiply it by 9 in the denominator. And in this case, I get 45 over 63. Once you have both of the denominators being exactly the same, you're ready to add them together. So I have 14 over 63 plus 45 over 63. In this case, again, the denominator will not change. So I just rewrote the fraction with the 63 in the denominator, just as I did before. And all you do is add the top. 14 plus 45 is 59. Check your fraction and make sure that it cannot be reduced. In this case, it cannot be, and so it will be our final answer, which is 59 divided by 63. Thank you for watching Higher Math Solutions. See you next time.